The Bucs get a revenge Bears game this week. Let's see if they can get it done.
Climb aboard with Steven and Scott and batten down the hatches.
So the Bucs are favored. This says 13.5 points. I've seen 14.5 points, so roughly about 2 touchdowns. For me, I know I'd said it to you, like I'm kind of scarred as a Bucs fan from previous years. I feel like when we were supposed to completely ruin another team, we'd go in there and like win by a field goal or end up losing that game, and it's just hard to imagine the Bucs win by 14 points any week for me. Obviously, we did it against Miami. They're kind of thinking this is going to be another blowout like that. Apparently, the Bears, 52.4% of their yards come from the ground, and the Bucs, almost 80% of our yards come from the air, and the Bears don't have a very good secondary, so they're going to be a team that's trying to run the ball against the Bucs, and a team that's not very good at defending the pass, which if you're going up against the Bucs, both of those are not going to be very good ideas for you. So they're thinking this is going to be a blowout. What do you think? Do you think a 14-point spread is doable?
I think it's definitely doable because, as you saw in the last game, if any of you watched the Bears and Packers game, the Packers had a pretty easy time running the ball all over the Bears. They did get a couple of sacks by Akeem Nicks and Khalil Mack, but both of those guys are hobbled with injuries, so that's something to look out for as well. They are tied with the Vikings for the lead in sacks with 21, but they've also allowed opponents to sack their quarterback 22 times, which for us bodes pretty well, given our pass rush is starting to pick up now. Having Shaq over on that blind side, getting to the passer, causing him to throw the ball a little early, getting those strip sacks, that's all, what he predicates his game on that side, and it's starting to show up. He leads the Bucs with 4 sacks.
Yeah, to give up 21 sacks in 6 games is a lot.
That's they've given up 22. This is their
the Bears have given up 22 sacks. I mean, that's 3 to 4 sacks a game.
Part of that is I believe Justin Fields is holding on to the ball. I believe it's longer than any other quarterback in the league right now. If it's not longer than everybody, it's pretty close to that.
There. Top 5?
Yeah.
Top 5 ball holders.
Because he's still trying to learn how to go through his progressions and find receivers, which he has a pretty good room. Couple of speedsters in Mooney and Marquise Goodwin. Allen Robinson is kind of their star receiver, but he's more of like a chain mover, possession receiver, and they're not really going to him all that much. I don't feel like they're going to have great success running on us. If they do, it's going to sort of be like the Eagles game where maybe he takes off like Jalen Hurts does a couple of times, but I do think Shaq will learn his lesson from the last game and kind of contain a little better, and I think we're going to force him to make quite a few mistakes. Hopefully Dean learned from his mistakes, getting his head around when the ball's in the air. And yeah, I think we just don't need to get beat deep in this one with those speedy guys, and I think we should be all right.
I know we pointed out in the Eagles recap, and really the last few games, we've been getting penalized quite a bit. I don't know if some teams might be keying in on that type of stuff, especially teams like this who are probably going to have a little bit of trouble moving the football. Like, do you just throw up some bombs and wait for our guys to make a mistake? Because like you said, Dean's not getting his head around. We're already banged up at DB. We have guys in that are prone to making some of these mistakes. So I don't know how much of that might be in a game plan if you're the Bears. With a rookie QB, I do feel like this is going to be a game where the Bucs make Justin Fields beat us, because they're not going to be able to run the ball, and we'll probably be leading this game early, so they're already going to be in a hole. So it's just going to be this perfect combination of Justin Fields trying to go deep, and is he good enough to complete the pass, and are we good enough to not get penalized in that process?
This is a game where they'll want to make a statement, sort of a revenge game too from last year. All the memes last year of the I thought we had another down.
He has to live down the 4.
Yeah,
you got to swap it.
Got to swap it out.
Make it a winning 4.
Instead of that face of confusion, we'll superimpose that face of Brady when he made that 12-yard run where he was like...
Yeah.
This is sort of a revenge game for Tristan Wirfs as well. The last time he allowed a sack, and his only sack he's ever allowed in his NFL career, was to Khalil Mack. So that'll be a matchup to look out for.
That's a crazy stat.
He's been pretty ridiculously good his entire career for us.
I feel like this game is going to be kind of similar to the Eagles game. To me, the Eagles and the Bears are kind of the same team right now.
Yeah, I think if we start as fast as we did against the Eagles and we don't make stupid mistakes that we don't need to make, taking that bet against the spread might actually be a really good bet.
At 13.5?
Yeah. I think this will be one that they want to get back from last year. This was also the game last year where Brady kind of had enough of all the penalties, and it was causing us to lose those games early in the season. For the rest of the year, throughout the end of the season, we did tremendously better in that penalty category, and we were one of the least penalized teams. And again, to start the season this year, we're one of the worst penalized teams. Maybe this will be another turning point.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take a loss to get back on the mindset of, hey, let's not get penalized so much.
Yeah.
If you could take the refs out of the game as much as possible, you have a way better chance of winning. If you get penalized 7 times a game, or you're a team that is likely to get penalized a lot, you just don't want to involve the refs if you can help it. So when the Bucs beat the Eagles, they went 5-1 for only the 4th time. 97, 02, and 05, the Bucs started at 5-1. They've never been 6-1. We have the opportunity to break history. No, break a record.
Essentially, we're breaking history in a way. The history of the Bucs is to not go 6-1. It would be breaking franchise history.
We've never done it. And the good news, too, is the last 3 times we did it, we won at least 10 games and made the playoffs every time.
Which, if we don't make the playoffs this year, it would have to be something disastrous. And I don't know.
Well, that would also break this record because we'd go 5-1 and not make the playoffs.
Right.
I don't know how many teams have ever done that. That's probably
Probably not many.
Yeah, probably not.